Wars have always left behind trails of destruction, but few conflicts in history were as pointless and mutually ruinous as the Byzantine-Sasanian War of 602 to 628. Imagine two colossal empires, Rome's eastern heir, the Byzantines, and the mighty Persian Sasanians, locked in nearly 3 decades of war, only to end up gaining nothing and losing everything. This was not just a war. It was a slow-motion collapse that paved the way for a rising power that would change the world forever: Islam. What started as a bitter rivalry ended in exhaustion, opening the door to a new empire that would reshape the entire Middle East. And today, on Trend Through Time, we're diving into this forgotten but pivotal moment in history. So if you're fascinated by ancient warfare and game-changing moments in time, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our journey through the ages. But to understand how these two giants fell, we need to rewind the clock. Tensions between Rome and Persia had been brewing for centuries, since the infamous Battle of Carrhae in 53 BC, where Rome suffered one of its most humiliating defeats. Over the years, the two powers clashed in countless wars, with neither ever truly dominating the other. By the late 6th century, things flared up again. In 571, the Lakhmids, Arab allies of Persia, attacked the Ghassanids, who were loyal to Byzantium. From Arabia to Armenia, from Georgia to Yemen, both sides began pulling strings, backing revolts, and waging proxy wars. What started as regional skirmishes exploded into a full-blown war for dominance. Strategic cities like Nisibis, Dara, and Martyropolis became the tug-of-war prizes in a long, bitter conflict. Then came a twist. In Persia, a power struggle erupted. General Bahram rebelled and seized the throne, forcing the rightful heir Khosrow II to flee. With nowhere else to turn, Khosrow asked his old enemies, the Byzantines, for help. In return for their support, he handed over crucial border cities. Together, they crushed Bahram, and for a moment, the unthinkable happened. Rome and Persia stood united, but the alliance didn't last. In 602, Byzantine Emperor Maurice was overthrown by the brutal usurper Phocas. Khosrow, using this as a pretext, reignited the war, this time with vengeance in mind. The conflict spiraled out of control. The Persian army stormed into Byzantine territory, conquering cities that had stood for centuries. Antioch fell. Damascus fell. And in 614, the unthinkable happened. Jerusalem was captured. The holy city was looted, sacred relics like the true cross were stolen, and Christian monuments were reduced to ashes. The Byzantine Empire, already fractured from within, seemed destined to fall. But then came Heraclius. A new emperor with a new strategy, he restructured the government, reformed the military, and plotted a daring counterattack that would turn the tide. Starting in 622, Heraclius launched a series of fast, brutal, and brilliant offensives into Persian territory. He crossed Armenia and entered the Persian heartland, using speed, deception, and surprise to devastate enemy forces. At one point, he even destroyed the sacred Zoroastrian fire temple, a deep symbolic blow to the Persian psyche. Meanwhile, Khosrow's attempts to stop him kept failing. Heraclius outmaneuvered army after army, winning key battles near Gazaksha, the river Sarus, and Lake Van. But the war wasn't just fought on open fields. It reached the gates of Constantinople. In 626, the Persians teamed up with the Avars and launched a massive assault on the Byzantine capital. It was a do-or-die moment, but Heraclius had planned ahead. As the capital held strong, he struck deep into Persian lands, cutting supply lines and turning the tide. He even managed to flip one of Persia's best generals, Sharbaraz, and gained the support of the Western Turks, adding tens of thousands of warriors to his forces. Then came the final blow. In 627, Heraclius marched to Nineveh and crushed the last great Persian army. Khosrau's rule collapsed. He was overthrown and executed by his own son, Kavad II. With the empire in chaos, Kavad had no choice but to beg for peace. The war was finally over. Byzantium got its cities and relics back, and the true cross was triumphantly returned to Jerusalem. After 26 years, victory seemed sweet. But here's the twist. Nobody really won. Both empires were shadows of their former selves. They had bled themselves dry. And just 1 year after the war ended, a new force emerged from the Arabian deserts. The armies of Islam swept across the weakened region like wildfire. The Sasanian Empire collapsed entirely. The Byzantines survived, but only barely, retreating into Anatolia and becoming a regional rather than global power. What Heraclius won on the battlefield was soon lost to history. The War of 602 to 628 wasn't just the end of an era, it was the end of antiquity. It was the last great clash of the classical world, a devastating struggle that cleared the stage for a new chapter in world history. And if you love exploring epic moments like this, where civilizations rise, clash, and fall, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to Trend Through Time for more deep dives into history's most defining events. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand the future.